Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the IDS 105 webinar, the first one for y'all's term. If you just hopped in, make sure you can hear me okay. Hopefully my sound is still coming through nice and clear. Please head over to the chat. Let us know you're here. I see a lot of you guys are introducing yourselves, sharing your majors, where you're from. If this is your first term at SNHU, if you've been to school for a minute, if you're continuing from term to term, you have a couple under your belt, whatever it is, I'm just so glad y'all are here. We'll get started here in a couple of minutes, but just to let you know, today we're going to talk through the top 10 tips for your success this term and also really any term that you have here at SNHU. But also we will talk through what your class kind of covers, just kind of the basics. And then when we get done, I'm going to share the electronic, that e-classroom space and kind of show you where you click, how to find things for your first couple of weeks, just so that you feel really comfortable getting started. Also know if you've been out of school for a minute, it's okay. You're not alone. All of you have different experiences that you are bringing, and just take things day by day. It's going to be a great term. We are so excited to welcome you all to SNHU. I tell students all the time that there is always a time for learning. I had a student that was in her 80s a couple terms ago. So you just never know what you might be doing. So it's just super exciting to have you all here pursuing your passions, going after that degree. Going to give people just like another minute to get situated. So you guys know too, when I start sharing my entire screen, I cannot see the chat any longer. So I have my phone up too. So if you kind of see me looking between two different places, it is so that I can hopefully try to grab the chat and make sure I got all the questions or anything that you guys might need. So I'm excited for today. Are you guys excited? Who's excited? Who's nervous? Who's overwhelmed? Who's all the emotions? Usually most students are probably all the emotions. So just know that you're not alone if you're kind of feeling those jitters or those nerves, kind of a little bit of everything. You are absolutely positively not alone, and you're just going to take things day by day and week by week. So let me go ahead and get this party started. I know you guys' time is precious. I'm going to flip on my camera real quick. Hey, everybody. So excited to be able to spend about 30 minutes or so with y'all today. First and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is very important to us. It's our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC for short, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430, or you can email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. Why do I tell you this? The OAC is an amazing team. It's a department here at the university, the Online Accessibility Center team, that helps learners just like you get content in a way that works best for them. So if you have questions about this, you want to know more about it, you can always connect through your advisor or just reach out directly to the OAC team, because we want to make sure that you are getting all the information in a way that works best for y'all. Couple of reminders, housekeeping items really, is one, you don't need a microphone or camera. They're not enabled. I know that is disappointing sometimes, but I'm telling you, in all of my 10 years of doing these webinars, students forget that microphones are on, they forget cameras are on, and it just brings a lot of extra chaos. And I want you all to be able to pay attention and understand what we're talking through bit by bit without any outside interruptions. This is an academic space, so always be mindful of your conduct. This applies, of course, to learning community webinars, your classroom spaces, and SNHU Connect, which is a space outside your classroom we're going to talk a little bit more about. Things to know about these webinars is you're going to have them every single week. The rest of your term, they're all pre-recorded or on demand. So every single Monday in the First Year Experience YouTube page for IDS 105, you'll be able to hop in and view the webinar at your convenience. They're loaded every Monday for the week, and these webinars just walk you through the concepts, the terminology, and the assignments from week to week. Again, you don't have to watch them, you don't have to tune in. My students always say they're super helpful because they kind of show you like where to click and how to find things and walk you through some of the questions if you're not sure maybe how to answer them. This is a live session. Any live session we ever do These live sessions will always be recorded, and I will post the link for you to access the recordings in the chat when we get done here. They're always up within 24 hours, usually within a couple of hours, but the on-demand are available every Monday, and they'll be there for your viewing pleasure. And if you have questions, you're not sure about something, you want to know something, please, please, please pop it in the chat. I can see a couple of hands are raised, and I want to make sure that if you have a question, pop it in the chat, and I'll do my best to make sure that all those get answered. So who am I? Well, I'm Melanie Shop. Hello, all of you. So glad to have you with us today on this glorious Wednesday. I hope the sun is shining wherever you are. I come to y'all from just outside Pensacola, Florida. So if you've never been to the Gulf Shores, this is my plug for you guys to come and see our amazing white sand beaches. They're incredible. So I have taught for SNHU for over 10 years. I'm an adjunct faculty member, but I'm also an academic partner. What does that mean? It means I teach a section of IDS 105, so I may be your instructor for some of you. And then for others, you will probably have a different instructor. I have about 32 students in my class, but I also teach SNHU 107 if anybody's taking that class. But then I'm an academic partner, which means that I work with all of your faculty. And I get to work here in the learning community with all of the students who take IDS 105 and SNHU 107. Some fun facts about me. This is my family. I absolutely love the water, the beach, the pool, the river. I'm a part-time mermaid. Anybody else ever feel like that? This is my family. I have two boys. They are 10 and 13. I need to update my picture because they look way older than that now. And I'm married to a Harley Davidson enthusiast. I'm an avid road biker. I love to read. I tell students all the time, if you're a reader, please, please, please give me your recommendations for any good books you've read that you just can't put down, because I absolutely love to read, and I read across all of the genres. I also love coffee, so students have often sent me fun coffee recipes or tell me their favorite coffee drinks, so I'm down with that too. I love spending time with my friends and family, but the biggest thing I want you to know is that I'm human, much like your instructors and advisors will be, because sometimes as students, we're just nervous to reach out to our instructors or our advisors or any of the resources here at the university. So this is me telling you, like, this is me, this is my family, and I'm a resource for you. And the learning community is here to be a resource for you, okay? So just know that. The IDS 105 learning community, a lot of students are like, okay, what is this? Because like nothing's graded, so why should I care? Well, it's a space outside your classroom. So it is located, the IDS 105 learning community is in what's called SNHU Connect. Have you all heard about SNHU Connect? It's where you can find the clubs, organizations, and the learning communities. There are only 3 learning communities, one for IDS 105, which you all are taking, one for Student 107, and then one for IDS 150. So these spaces are a dedicated space to that classroom. So students are the only people in the learning community besides me as a facilitator. Okay, there's no other faculty. They are either students that have taken the class already or that are taking it. So you will have students from all different sections that are in there. It's a place for you to build peer connections. Again, it's outside your Brightspace environment. It's an SNHU Connect. There's a separate login for it. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But it's where you can meet other classmates. There is always me posting in there throughout the week, motivational stuff, reminders. I post the webinar reminder links. I post any focus videos. We have these really cool webinars every week, which are usually about 20, 30 minutes or less. But I also have just-in-time focus videos that are specific to like maybe walking you through a project draft or walking you through a certain assignment from week to week or walking you through a little bit deeper through some of the concepts or terminology in your IDS 105 class, okay? So all of this together just equals extra support for your success here at SNHU. My partner is not with me today. It is graduation week here at SNHU, so he is with our pending graduates, which is always super exciting. But I usually introduce Dr. James Winfield, or Dr. J, as his students call him. Some of you may have Dr. J for your instructor for IDS 105 this term because he is teaching this term. He is one of our associate deans here at the university. He oversees first-year experience and retention strategies. And what I love about our leadership team here at SNHU is they are actively involved in the classroom. It is really easy to get a hold of them, and they have such incredible support for you as a student. So Dr. J always likes to tell students that he's a big Marvel fan. So where are my Marvel fans? I know there's a different type of superhero fandom out there too. But he's a huge Marvel fan. He loves to cook. He has the most adorable children. He's a family man, and he is a huge resource for you. One of the teams, I see it. There we go. DC, that's what it is. I knew it was called something else. If he was here, he would battle that out with you. But one of the things that I love to talk about with Dr. J's team is he oversees a team of students just like you that are called peer mentors. So they're students who have been through SNHU. This is even a job you could apply for later down the road, but they just meet one-on-one with students about life skills, school skills. It's just kind of a great one-on-one relationship, especially as a new student, but it's also something you could even do as a student job down the line. So I always like to tell students to, if they're interested in the peer mentor program, definitely check it out. You can find out all about it from your advisor or looking through the MySNHU information. But the biggest thing that Dr. J likes to share is he loves to share this acronym PIN. Now, can you tell me what is our mascot here at SNHU? Do y'all know? Pop quiz, pop quiz. What is our mascot? Do you know? Do you know? I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds, see if anybody knows. Yes, Jennifer, A+, Penman, right. So the Penman is our university mascot, and Dr. J has this amazing saying, which he has put into the acronym PIN, which is to persist, engage, and network. And what he always tells students when he is here, and he talks about this all the time throughout the entire year, is number one is to always persist. So for many of you, maybe you've tried school before, it didn't work out for whatever reason. Some of you, this is your first time ever going to college. Some of you might have just taken some time off and now you're back. Some of you might be coming back to get a degree you've always wanted. I mean, there's so many reasons why you're here. And we're so happy that you've chosen SNHU to partner with on your academic journey. A lot of times your classes are going to be awesome. You're going to love the material. You're going to do well in the classes, but there are some times where we struggle. And this is where it's really important to keep going and to remember the end goal of getting your degree and to keep going even when things get a little bit tough. And to keep you persisting and going after your degree, it helps if you can engage with your fellow classmates, engage with your faculty, engage with the different university departments, which really means like networking for your success, getting to know your classmates and the departments and the people and the clubs and organizations that are here at the university, because all of it just helps support you and your success. And the more you can get involved and connected to SNHU, the better experience you are really going to have. And I know in the beginning, it's a lot. There's a lot of departments. There's a lot of things coming at you. You're getting used to a lot of things. You don't have to do it all at once. Just take a deep breath, take it day by day. But I encourage you, get to know some of the departments. Start with maybe working with the academic support team or log into SNHU Connect and be a part of the learning community. Maybe there's a club or organization out there that you're really interested in. I saw all the different majors as we were kind of introducing ourselves quickly in the chat. We have such cool clubs and organizations here at SNHU, from the Nerds Unite Club. There's a horror club. There's a paranormal club. There's psychology, creative writing, business clubs. SNHU parents. There is military organizations. There's just a lot for you to get involved in. You don't have to do it all at once. You got plenty of time, but I do encourage you to connect. The biggest thing I want you to remember from today is that you are 100% worth this degree. You are worth the time, the energy, and the sacrifices you're going to have to put in, you're going to have to make, okay? No matter how your day goes, no matter how the term goes, just remember at all times that you got this. I like to tell students all the time, I want to hear you say it. Like, I wish I could hear you say it. Like, type in the chat, like, I got this, or say it out loud. You completely can do this. Is it easy? No. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? But you 100% are worth this journey. And it is super exciting to see you all here already getting connected to the university. And just remember, as you go through the term, like, I got this, you can do it because we believe in you and we know that you got this. So love it in the chat. Excellent work. A+ is all around, y'all. You are just starting off on the right foot already. I like to go over just a quick overview of what your IDS 105 classroom kind of looks like. A lot of times when you pull up your syllabus, students are like, whoa, what does all this mean? So I want to just break it down for you. So in your IDS 105 classroom, you're going to have 6 discussion assignments. A discussion assignment is where you're going to be asked a series of questions and you're going to share your thoughts, your input, your experiences, okay? When you do the discussion assignments, when they're assigned, the initial post is always due on Thursdays, and then you want to respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Sunday, okay? So Thursdays, Sundays. Can you do those earlier in the week? Of course you can. Can you respond to more than 2 of your classmates? Of course you can. The biggest thing is to make sure that you answer all pieces and parts and all the questions of your initial post. Give your thoughts, your feedback, write in complete sentences, share your story. And then when you respond to your classmates, make sure you're writing more than just a couple of sentences, because that won't cut it, okay? And you'll know every week what's due. So like, you have module 1 is week 1. Okay, so you start classes Monday, May 6th. So week 1, module 1 starts Monday through that Sunday. Okay, and then week 2 will start that following Monday, run through Sunday. So you'll know what you have due for week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way through week 8. Okay. So discussions are one of the assignments you'll have. You also have a couple of journal assignments. These are where you're going to answer a series of open-ended questions. You have a warm-up, which a warm-up is like an open book quiz. Don't let it stress you out. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. I always encourage students, do your reading, look over the required resources, answer the questions. As soon as you take it, it auto grades, and you can go back and take it again if you struggled or want to earn some more points. Sound good so far? Make sense on like what all those assignments are? Project drafts, you're going to have 4 of them throughout the term, and then you're going to have this culmination of all of the work you've done through the term into a project draft. The really cool thing is that these project drafts, there's a template. So basically you're going to open up a Word document and you're going to answer the questions. These projects are based off of you picking a scenario in week 2 of the term. And you're going to use that scenario, that experience, and you're going to answer the questions a few different weeks, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. And then when your project comes at the end, you've already done all the work. You're just basically going to be cleaning up the drafts, making sure everything makes sense, adding anything you might need to add, putting it together to submit that final project. Does that make sense? So a lot of students see that project, that 250, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But you're going to be working on that project all term long during different modules. Okay. So that is the assignments. Again, discussions, when you have that discussion assignment in your week, initial post due on Thursday, peer responses due on Sunday. Everything else, when it's assigned that any given week, is always due on Sundays. But if you want to turn those ahead of time, you can. So I like to tell students, and students will tell me this all the time, that if they're able to kind of work a little bit earlier in the week, like if they can work like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on some assignments, it helps free up that weekend, or it helps with some flexibility and things in case things kind of get off track. You know what I mean? You're not scrambling because you've done some things earlier in the week. So just a couple of ideas that students have shared out there, but that's kind of an overview of your course. Now, those top 10 tips. Number 1, honest question. How many of you have sat down and thought about when you're going to do your SNHU homework? When you're going to study, we're going to work on your homework. Have you mapped out that time? You're going to have to learn how to not only set aside that time, but you also want to make sure that you prioritize that time, because you are going to have competing priorities. You know, you have school life, many of you have work life, either inside or outside the home. You have personal life, those loved ones that we might have. So it's really important that you just kind of are able to prioritize your time. I saw a quick question in here about different reading speeds and like how much time you should anticipate for allowing for reading. That's a kind of a hard question to answer because everybody is different. I have some students that they're working on stuff, a couple hours a day. I have some that like it's a couple hours through the week. It just kind of depends on you and your study skills and like how you're feeling about things, but you will get into a routine. So set aside some time, maybe set aside more than you might need in the beginning, and kind of just move through it and adjust as you might need to. Does that make sense? Tip number 2 is make connections. I've already talked about this a little bit. Get to know your classmates, get to know your faculty, get to know the SNHU departments. It really makes a difference to when you can engage with your classmates and your faculty in the departments and helping you feel a little bit connected to the university. And everybody, y'all, has different schedules. I mean, I have students that work 10, 12, 14-hour days. I have some students that they work all weekend, so they do their work during the week. I have some that it's flip-flopped, like they have the regular weekends. So, they work on their stuff more on the weekends, except for they get their stuff that's due on Thursday. Some students, it doesn't take them long to do assignments. Some students, it takes longer. Like everybody's a little bit different, and you kind of just have to figure out like what works best for you. The biggest thing is don't just completely wing it. Like at least plan for a couple of hours a few times throughout the week to kind of just get yourself situated, get yourself in a routine, and do what works best for you. But just know there are students just like you who work crazy work schedules. A lot of them even work overnights. There's loved ones are taken care of. Like everybody has something going on. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. You just have to make it work in a way that works best for you and make sure your work is due by the deadline. Okay, due dates and deadlines. A lot of students ask me, class starts on Monday the 6th. Do I have to log in at a certain time? No, you do not. Your biggest thing is when you have those assignments, if you have a discussion post, that initial post needs to be in on Thursday, peer responses by Sunday, anything else by Sunday, but you can always work on it earlier. Does that help? Tip number 3 is getting that ebook purchased and connected. This is something that if you are stuck or struggling with this, don't stress. get with your advisor. They'll help walk you through all of it. They're an absolute gem and a wealth of knowledge of getting everything situated as far as your ebook goes. But many students just miss that you can actually purchase this directly from SNHU, right? That's what you want to do. So you go into your class at the top, there's kind of this menu across the top. There's a help, there's a little arrow. Click on online student services. It brings up quick links to all of the departments here at SNHU. The SNHU bookstore is right there. You click on the bookstore, you put in the term that you're starting, the class that you're taking, and it'll pull up your course materials and you add it to a cart and check out just like on Amazon. Pay attention, make sure you are consistently checking your SNHU email because you will get reminders about getting connected and getting your electronic textbooks purchased, or even if you have regular textbooks purchased and everything all situated. It gives you the step-by-step information in there. But again, if you're stuck, reach out to your advisor, okay? Reach out to your advisor. Don't stress, don't wait, just reach out to your advisor and they'll get you all situated. Students often ask me too, like, what if I can't get my book like right away week 1? If that is the case, there's plenty of required resources reading within the module you want to pay attention to. Let your instructor know and then get your book as soon as you can, okay? A lot of students also ask, like, what if I find it on Amazon? Can I get it on Amazon? No, but I have students that have done that and then it's like not the right book. So I always encourage students get it through the university. And if you get stuck getting anything connected or getting your Vital Source app up, just get with your advisor and they will get you all situated, okay? It looks like a lot of you guys got your books already. It was pretty easy. And I love that a lot of you are kind of thinking about mapping out your class schedule and or your time to work on your SNHU homework. Just know, do what works best for you. Your time that you study and the way you study and how you do things may look completely different than somebody else in your class. That's okay. Do what works best for you. Like, I'm somebody that likes to get up early in the morning and get things done before my kids get up and get going. My husband's the opposite. He's going to wait till we all go to bed. You know what I mean? So just, again, do what works best for you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just make sure you make the time to get your SNHU work done, okay? And there is a lot of digital stuff out there. If you haven't been in school for a while or this is your first time, it can be like, whoa, this is a lot of technology. But I promise you, you'll get the hang of it. Watch the tutorial videos, reach out to your advisor, like, take your time. You're going to get the hang of it. It just might take a little bit. Don't stress yourself out, okay? Tip number 4 is have that backup plan. So have y'all thought about like what you would do if your internet or Wi-Fi goes out? Or what if your phone or computer or tablet, whatever you're using to do your schoolwork, breaks? Or if like your work schedule changes, or you get sick, or somebody in your household gets sick. Like, things happen in life. And so I always tell students, make sure you write down your advisor's phone number and email address, and the same with your instructor's phone number and email address every single term, because in case something happens, you have a way to either call them or email them and let them know if life is lifing, or if something just happened that came up that's going to prevent you from getting your assignments in on time. Or maybe there was a natural disaster. Like, we have hurricanes here in Florida, internet's knocked out all the time. I've had laptops break in the middle of a semester. Like, you're not going to be the first or last student that has things come up. But if I can tell you anything, it is to 100% communicate with your instructors or your advisors. When we know that something has come up or something's going on, we can help support your success to keep you on track or get you back on track. When we don't know, that's where it can be difficult to make sure that we can support your success, okay? I'm going to pause real quick. I just want to make sure I got all the questions in here. That is a great question, Jessica. So there are some classes that there'll be an electronic textbook and a physical hard copy. You could do either or. A lot of students will get the physical and the ebook just so they can kind of like get used to it. And most often they end up using the electronic textbook because they can kind of take it with them everywhere. But I get it. I like to feel the book, hold the book. Books smell different, right? So I totally get it. The biggest thing is just make sure it's the right version, make sure it has the right content. If you find yourself struggling or can't finding things, make sure you reach out to it, okay? Let's see. The other thing is always check your email. Like I mentioned, that's how the university communicates with you. That's how you'll get a lot of information about your books. If you're stuck on your books, not sure how to purchase things, or you didn't get an access code, or you need an access code, get with your advisor. They will help you sort all those things out. Everybody's financial picture is a little bit different. So always get with your advisor and they will figure everything out. Your IDS 105 book is listed in your classroom space on your syllabus so that you can find that right there. So you can make sure you have the right book and you can make sure that you have the right ISBN number. Tip number 5, to-do list. So we talked a little bit about setting aside that time, but it's also important. All of you have competing priorities: academic life, personal life, professional life, whatever it might be. So it's really important to kind of know what or who is on that to-do list to make sure that you can understand what you have to do from day to day and can really just stay on track for your success. Okay. Tip number 6, communication is key. You guys have already heard me mention this. Always make sure you're checking your SNHU email. That's how the university communicates with you. Check your course announcements. That's another place where your instructor is going to put helpful tips, tricks, things for your success and communicate with you. If your advisor or instructor is trying to get a hold of you on the phone, please, please, please give us a call back. It means we're reaching out to you to either check on you and make sure everything's going okay, or maybe you're missing an assignment, or we see that you're struggling with something. We want to make sure that we're able to get you back on track. I love that some of y'all want to connect with the Online Accessibility Center. They're wonderful. They're a great resource, and they'll help you see if that's their services are something that it works best for you. These webinars, like I mentioned, we're live today. The recording will go up here within 24 hours. I'll post that link in the chat when we get done today. But also know that these are the links you can always find. The webinars, just look for the week you want to watch. So for example, if you go to the YouTube page and you want to watch this one, once it's up, you just look for the PreTerm webinar. They'll always be listed like module 1, week 1, module 2, week 2, so you can easily find them. The focus videos, those are kind of quick, short little videos that walk you through something specific. Like for example, in week 2, there's a focus video that walks you through like how to find your first project draft, what you should be doing, how to answer the questions specifically to that like very first project draft. So that's an example. Those are up already. They're already up for the term. You can take a look at them and understand kind of like what you should be doing from week to week. There's also one that walks you through the discussion board, for example. There's just a lot of resources that are right there for your fingertips. This is one of my favorite questions. Who is on your success team? So think about it real quick. Who is going to be supporting you as you navigate this online learning journey? Like, do you have somebody who's going to maybe help if you have, like, loved ones at home that you take care of, or they're going to help maybe like look over some of your assignments? They're the ones that are going to kind of cheer you on, tell you some of those hard truths when we need to hear them, right? They're the ones that are going to pick us up when we struggle. It's really important to know who is on your success team, but also know you have so many different departments here at the university that are pulling for you and your success, which is so important. I love that idea for a backup plan. If you have a laptop and there's a mobile hotspot in case like something goes down. I tell students all the time too, if you lose Wi-Fi or internet or your phone, laptop, tablet, PC goes down, local libraries are a complete hidden gem. They have computers that are accessible. They have Wi-Fi. Also, always think about like McDonald's, free Wi-Fi, coffee shops, free Wi-Fi, like just things like that. Always ask friends and family members. That tends to be something that can happen is either computers go down or internet goes down. Remember to utilize those services and those people that are around you. Tip number 9 is to use your feedback. So this really comes to grades. All right. So every week your faculty are going to spend time grading your assignments, and you will get a lot of feedback underneath each assignment, like line by line for each part of the rubric, which the rubric is what tells you how you're going to be graded. Okay. So for example, when you start classes on Monday, you have, that Monday through Sunday for your first week to get your stuff in, right? Initial post due Thursday, peer responses, and any other assignments due by Sunday. So once after Sunday at midnight hits, your faculty member, your instructors have a whole 7 days. So from Sunday to the Sunday, so basically the Sunday before week 3, to grade your work, okay? So some faculty will grade as things come in. Some faculty will grade throughout the week. Some, you might not see any of your grades until they're due. So just know that if you ever have questions or you're stuck on something, you're not sure if you turned something in right, you can always email your instructor and they'll get back to you and let you know that. But the biggest thing is we spend a lot of time leaving you feedback, like on what you did well, what you might have struggled with. We might refer to you to some university resources if you're struggling with something. Give you some tips for success as you move forward on other assignments that might be similar. So make sure that you're reviewing that information that we leave you, because often students will be like, oh my gosh, I keep missing points on this. Why? And I'm like, have you read any of the feedback I've left you? And they're like, oh no, I didn't. And they go back and they're like, oh my gosh, I could have changed this like weeks ago. So just make sure you're reviewing that feedback from week to week. Okay. I love that you guys have so much support outside the classroom for your returning to school or starting school, which is absolutely awesome. SNHU is completely rooting for you and your success, and it sounds like you have a lot of personal and social supports that are too, which is absolutely incredible. So my last kind of big tip number 10, is to use your resources. Like I've mentioned a bunch of times here, you have a lot of people, the departments here at SNHU, that are here for your success. There's a lot of us. It can be kind of overwhelming. So start small. Just know that your instructors want you to be successful. If you have questions on something, you're not sure on something that's class related or assignment related, please reach out to them. We would rather help you and answer those questions and guide you in the right direction than you to either not turn something in or really struggle on an assignment. Your advisors are a wealth of information. They can get you connected to other resources. They can even tag in your instructors if you know, as needed. They're just really great about helping you to stay on track. When they call you or email you, please respond back to them. It's really important. Our career team is amazing. They do a lot of events that even as a new first year SNHU student that you can totally be a part of. It's always a great idea to get to know our SNHU career team. The academic support team has so many resources. They have like a menu of services that I'll show you guys here in a little bit when I do the class walkthrough. A lot of students love the workshops, the tutors, and the written feedback service is a big heavy hitter that a lot of students like to use, because you can submit your drafted writing assignments. And then you'll fill out this little questionnaire that like asks what you want the tutor to kind of focus on and give you feedback on. They'll review that and then give you feedback within 24 hours, which is really pretty cool. SNHU Connect, that is where the learning community for IDS 105 is. It's also where you can find different clubs and organizations. Plus, we have an amazing library that can help you with citation work and just resources in general. And then we have an incredible help desk if there's anything technical that just doesn't seem to be working or you're struggling with, okay? Outside the classroom, you all have a lot of support. And it could look a variety of different ways for different people, but just know none of it matters if you're not the one connecting, asking the questions, and really being an advocate for you and your success, okay? You being here is amazing. So go after your best experience, be the best advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions, ask for assistance, because we want you to do well, okay? Quick reminder for the SNHU Connect. It does have a separate login. It's called a Pulse login. It can take about 7 to 10 days for that login to be created. So if you have tried to access, has anybody gotten into SNHU Connect yet? If you have tried to access SNHU Connect and you couldn't get in, it's just probably like your login hasn't been created. So wait kind of that 7 to 10 days, and then you can email connect@snhu.edu if you're still struggling or you can't get in what you need, okay? So the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to walk you through the classroom space here. Just real quick, couple of things I wanted to point out is underneath this help button, when you click the little arrow, can everybody see my screen okay? And sometimes the mobile phone app can be a little sassy, so just let the help desk know and they'll go through it. Here's a quick link to the IT service desk. This online student services, I'm going to click on it in a minute. It pulls up all the different departments here at the university. One of the big things I wanted to show you all is there's these student tutorial videos. A lot of students miss this, but this is a great way to kind of see an overview of Brightspace, how to find assignment instructions and guidelines, feedback and grades, discussion boards. It's kind of just a quick, easy, little fast. You'll notice the videos are all under 3 minutes that walk you through a lot of the different things you're going to use in Brightspace, okay? I saw a question, is there an SNHU app? You do have the Pulse app for the learning community spaces. There's also a Vital Source app for your textbooks. Instructors can change. They can change sometimes up until the start of your class. The instructor that maybe was originally assigned could have had something come up, and so they had to switch instructors before the start of the term. That happens. It's not uncommon. We don't do it often, but that definitely happens. So just know that that could change. But I wanted to make sure that I kind of showed you guys a couple of those spaces. When you click on online student services, again, it pulls up all the different departments here at the university. And one of the things I wanted to point out is you click the blue, gets you where you want to go. It'll take you to the department. But as you scroll through, I wanted to bring your attention to this Office 365 and other software. As an SNHU student, you can get Office 365 and other software for free. Okay, so Office 365 includes like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel. This is essentially important because your templates for your project drafts in IDS 105 and your final project are all Microsoft Word documents, okay? So it's really important that you have Microsoft Word or something compatible. Where are my Mac users? Make sure you have something compatible. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that this was here for you and your success to get that downloaded and be able to utilize that. My students that are Mac users, I absolutely love Macs. I had one myself. Just make sure when you turn in those first assignments that your instructors are there in documents that your instructors can open and grade, okay? Because sometimes they're not. So just make sure that you kind of have that backup plan there, okay? The other thing I wanted to point out is up here at the top, you can click directly on academic support and it'll pull up their menu of services. I like to show students this because there's 24/7 drop-in tutoring, which when it's convenient for you. There's different workshops. There's some peer tutors, like more one-on-one appointments, some academic coaching. But this written feedback is where a lot of students, especially in IDS 105, love to utilize this service. It's free. You can, like, for example, your project drafts or your journals or even your discussions, you can draft up those assignments, answering the questions how you would, and then you can actually upload and submit your draft for written feedback. You can select, there'll be a little questionnaire that pulls up. You can select what you want the tutor to focus on, and they'll give you targeted feedback within 12 hours. Okay, so it's pretty cool. A lot of students really like that. Again, it's usually feedback is done within 12 hours. This is really nice, especially if you haven't written academically for a while or you're nervous about your writing. This is a great thing to utilize. Also, I always encourage students too, if like you don't get an assignment in for them to look over, there's wonderful resources like Grammarly. You can use the free version. Read your writing from the end of it to the top of it. Just make sure that you're spelling out words appropriately. Don't use abbreviations. Capitalize the word I, y'all. Capital, or like spell out the word you. It's Y-O-U, not just little u. Those things are easy for us to do because we're so used to texting. But we'll lose points academically because that's not academic writing, okay? The other thing I want to point out too is there's a lot of artificial intelligence out there. We got ChatGPT and other AI capabilities to help with different assignments and writing. Please know that your instructors know when you utilize those things. So there's a lot of great that comes with it, but you want to make sure that you are giving credit where credit is due and that your work is original. If your work is not original, you're using a quote, an image, a statistic, a picture, whatever it might be that is not your own, you always want to make sure that you cite it. One of the best resources for citation work is underneath the Shapiro Library. One of my favorite resources, if you click the little down arrow, you're going to see some incredible stuff in here. You're going to see citing your sources. You're going to see the library homepage. You're going to see research guides. All the information is absolutely right here. The cool thing about IDS 105 is you don't have to cite anything unless you're using something that's not your own words. Okay, so a lot of your class and your assignments are literally based off of your own experiences, your own thoughts, your, situations and examples that you can give. So unless you're like directly quoting something, you don't need it. So just know that. Like sometimes students when they're writing their assignments for IDS 105, will pull in all this extra stuff when you just need to answer the question based off of your own experiences, your own information. But if you do utilize something that is not your own, you just cite it, okay? Most students use APA. The big key is just make sure that you cite it correctly, okay? It's real easy. You can even type in Google, how do I cite this? It always tells you. And there is so much technology that has changed things too, which is really pretty cool. But always get with your instructor too if you're ever stuck on citations. But just know, again, for IDS 105, you're not required to have like all this research and like utilize all this citation stuff. Like you're just sharing your experiences. It's if you use something that's not your own, got to give credit where credit is due. Make sense? Does that sound good, everybody? I just want to make sure that's clear to all of you. So the other thing I wanted to point out is underneath course menu, you can always find your course announcement. So this is actually my class. I teach this term in IDS 105. So you'll notice the announcement section is going to have, like I have webinar reminders up, but there's always helpful tips, tricks, things from the week to week. Everybody's announcements look a little bit different. That's totally okay. The other thing I wanted to point out is when you log into Brightspace, you'll always see your instructor right here. And their email address. So if you're in my class, you'll see my picture, but I don't have all of you. I only have about 32 of you, and there's a lot of students that are taking IDS 105. So just know that you can always find your instructor real quick right there. There's also a My Instructor announcement that talks about like where your instructor is from, their bio, all that kind of fun stuff. The other thing I wanted to point out is underneath course menu, you can always get to your learning modules right there. Week 1 is module 1, week 2 is module 2, all the way through week 8. Okay, everybody? One of the things I wanted to point out is you always want to click on this start here part of your class. When you do that, you can find your IDS 105 syllabus, which has the overview of your class, rules, responsibilities. I always encourage students to definitely look that over. Plus, there's some helpful videos on what IDS 105 is. There's also this really helpful part on vital source information. This is like getting your textbook purchased, getting it connected, getting it on Vital Source, how to use everything. All those things are on there. There's also this really important space that's called using video note. There are some assignments in your IDS 105 class that you can actually submit a video note for. Now, before you're like, sweet, you need to know the rules and requirements for video note, all right? You need to make sure it's original content. If you recite anything or you like have anything you need to cite, you need to have a separate document for that. Your talking points need to be listed. You can't just willy-nilly record something and post it. Your instructor is going to want to have certain things along with it. So just know that. So if you want to use this tool, it's awesome. It's incredible. I've had students that have submitted things like their discussions of using video note. It's great, but there's things that do accompany it and there's requirements for using it. It's basically a video submission of your assignment. You, however, you cannot use video note for any of your project drafts or your final project, the guidebook in IDS 105, okay? But if you want to know more about using video note and what you would need to submit if you choose to use this for the assignments that you're allowed to use it on, click on using video note and it will go through all the information for you, okay? Again, it's cool. It's not as easy as you think it is. Just make sure if you do submit a video note, you have everything submitted along with it that you might need or are prepared to have in case your instructor asks for it, okay? And you cannot use it on project drafts or your final project, that guidebook. Sound good? Make sense for that? So I like to make sure that you guys kind of know all these things in here so you're not like, whoa, where did this come from? The other thing I wanted to point out is when you click on that PDF of your syllabus, this will open up that Adobe document and it'll have an overview of your course. It'll also have your textbook right here. I think I saw a question like, can you tell me if there's a hard copy or an e-copy? Just so you know, there's always an electronic copy. Sometimes the SNHU bookstore will have hard copies or like a loose leaf paper version of books. They're not always in stock. They don't always have them. And I don't know what the latest kind of like inventory is for that. So just know that there might not be that option, but the ebook is always an option. Okay. The other thing I want to show you just real quick is underneath Module 1. When you go to Module 1, when you get into your classes, you always want to click on that introduction area. And when you click on that, there's a lot of content to review. I always tell students in IDS 105, a lot of the reading in addition to your textbook is within your module. So don't skip that part, okay? You want to make sure you click all the way through things. There's a lot of scrolling and kind of clicking over, but make sure you do it. Every single module is going to have, see, this is a lot of text and this is a lot of information that is going to be physically here within your module, and you're going to need it for answering some of your questions. Some students completely miss this, and I wanted to make sure I pointed it out, okay? So you'll notice there's some reading in here that you're definitely going to want to review and go through. You'll also notice that there is always citations or references. It'll give you an idea, shall you use anything that you need to reference or cite of how you should be getting that done, okay? The other thing I wanted to point out is you will always have this required resources section as part of each module. It'll tell you any textbook chapters you need to read. So you'll notice for week 1, there's chapter 1 and chapter 2. It'll also give you any websites or videos or helpful articles that might just really help you understand or further drive the concepts or terminology that you're learning about from week to week home. Okay. I always encourage students read through them. If you ever have trouble with a video playing or a link isn't working, always let your instructor know, because that does happen from time to time. Not often, but it can happen. Don't stress about it. Just let us know. Okay. So you'll notice there's a lot of stuff that's optional on here too. But I always have students review this optional stuff, because you'll notice in here it talks about, how to view different information, how to find things in Brightspace, how to find the discussion boards, how to create a document in Word. There's a lot of cool stuff, how to check spelling, grammar in Word. There's just a lot of things. Plus, there's a link to our academic integrity policy that's in here. Okay, so that is how you find kind of everything within your module. You'll also click through. In week 1, I go into this way more in depth for module 1, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys just a few things, kind of where you could find things, as I know we're kind of over our time, but I wanted to make sure that I pointed these out. And the discussions gave me problems in my last webinar too. It took forever for it to load. As always. There it goes. So just to show you guys for an example what you would be answering in those initial posts, you'll see right here there's 4 questions. Please note that sometimes the questions have multiple pieces and parts, so always make sure you're answering all of them. So for example, next week, start thinking about how you can introduce yourself to the class, a little bit about you, what motivates you, your background. It's going to ask you about your top 3 social identities. That's within your module reading. Also, it'll ask you about being your authentic self, and you're going to talk about your why and what motivates and drives you. Okay, so those are the questions you're answering, and then you'll be able to see your peers and you'll be able to respond to them. But as you click through, I just wanted to show you guys, as you click through different things, it'll bring you to the rest of the assignments. But always know what you have going on, okay? All right, that is kind of the basics of all the things. I want to make sure and see if you guys have any questions. I'm going to check the chat, so hold on here just a second. Let me get back over here. Maybe. There we go. Okay. All right, how are we feeling? Did this help? So to help to kind of have like a walkthrough, like this is where I find things, this is where I can click on things. And just remember too, like you have so much support at your fingertips, and it is a lot. This webinar has a lot of information. That's why you can go back and you can check it out. The biggest thing is you know, you have a lot of resources here at the university. If you're nervous about like academic writing or like curious if you do want to use this, you know, something that you need to cite, there's departments and people that help you do that. So don't stress about it. The biggest thing is when you log in, you know, when you check in on Monday, there's not a certain time you have to be there. You're just going to log in when it's convenient for you. Just make sure you adhere to the due dates and deadlines. Remember, week 1, you have a discussion assignment due. So your initial post is due on Thursday. And then you're going to respond to at least 2 of your classes by Sunday. Anything else that's assigned is always due by Sunday. The Module 1 webinar that will be preloaded for you bright and early Monday morning goes through Module 1 step by step. Where to find the discussion board, where to find the other assignments, how to click through it, some of the topics we're going to talk about. So just know that like that goes through so much more in depth, but that's for week 1. I just want to give you guys kind of just a piece of these parts of kind of like where to find things and how to get organized. Remember too, your books are easy peasy to get purchased and downloaded if you're using the electronic textbook. If you get stuck, if it's overwhelming, if it's too much, like don't stress, reach out to your advisor. They'll help walk you through absolutely all of it. Always make sure you check your university email, check those announcements that are out there. And if you get stuck, reach out and ask, okay? We're so excited for y'all. We are so happy that you could be here. As a reminder too, these webinars are not required. You don't have to attend them. You don't have to watch them. They're just here really for extra support. The rest of the term, these webinars are all on demand or pre-recorded. They will be on the YouTube channel. Hold on just a second. Let me grab that. I'll grab it for you right here. Your instructors often will post, sorry. They will post, I did it again. They will post the webinar like reminders and links. So you can go to this page for the webinars and just look for the week that you want to watch. Those are the ones that are loaded every single Monday of the new module. And then these are the focus videos. These are already loaded for the term. They will walk you through specific things, like week 1 walks you through the discussion. Week 2 walks you through how to find the project drafts. Like, so just short little videos that are out there. Remember, you're going to be amazing. And it takes a little bit to kind of get into a routine and get situated. It can be a lot in the beginning, but just take it day by day, take a big old deep breath and reach out and connect for your success if you need anything. Y'all, it's 100% worth it. You're going to do amazing. And we are so excited for you. Welcome officially to the SNHU family. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. And you guys are going to crush it next week. I just know it. So good luck, y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend and enjoy your day.